radius of this.
That's perfect. Where you
Yeah,
are is
I'm
awesome.
Jerome Goldstein, MD, Director of the San Francisco Clinical Research Center, Headache Clinic and Alzheimer's and Dementia Clinic. Today we are doing a preliminary film for promotional purposes, for fundraising, for a project that has both my attention, hopefully my objectivity, and my passion, the neurobiology of sexual orientation. I'm here today primarily to speak about the neurobiology of sexual orientation from as an objective a standpoint as I can. Having grown up in a small town in upstate New York and realizing at a young age that I was a gay man, it became a problem to me in growing up and maturing. Throughout my days in high school and at the University of Rochester and at the Upstate Medical Center in Syracuse, New York, I made really valiant attempts to become, if you will, or to try heterosexuality, including Lorna Mohan, who I took to my senior prom at high school and who became an avid Christian and tolerated me even after she knew and I had admitted to her that I was gay. I had a few affairs at Upstate Medical Center with women, and in San Francisco I lived with a woman for a year, full year, and we had an intimate sexual relationship. In growing up and being, if you will, a nice Jewish boy from a small upstate New York town, I felt that I had to become a doctor, and for reasons that were kind of mysterious to me. You know, I think my parents would have been satisfied no matter what I had done with my life. But, you know, I graduated from medical school. I was happy about that. And there was really only one other thing in life that I felt was important, and that was to have a relationship that fit my sexuality at the time that I left Syracuse, New York. And I feel really that I have done that with my 38-year relationship with Tom Taylor. And that, of course, is a whole other story and not part of what we're talking about today. But I think it is certainly germane to the subject. And it's germane to the subject because of the fact that Tommy and I have been supporting, if you will, every AIDS and HIV and same-sex relationship, gay organizations in this city since we've been together. And one of the things that we do on an annual basis is to give a party for Frameline, which is the lesbian and gay movie festival in San Francisco. And although I think most gay people or same-sex people or bisexual people or transsexual people know what they are, perhaps from a very early age, I think most of us sort of put it in our back pocket, thinking that things will be okay, that we'll be able to deal with it, that we won't have to face certain objections to who and what we are. So at a particular Frameline party about 3 years ago, when I usually give a little introductory talk about the house and its history and our relationship and how we like to support Frameline, I felt compelled to speak about research that had been done by Ivanka Savic-Berglund, who is a pediatric neuroscientist in Stockholm at the Karolinska Institute. And she had done this very, very sophisticated MRI scanning, PET scanning, and functional MRI and pheromonal research. That's the smells, you know, that we don't really smell but we might act on. And she proved conclusively, you know, that gay male brains were like female straight brains, and gay female brains were like straight male brains. And I felt that this was really uncovering an opportunity to settle the question of the fact that This is more or less an inborn thing that we come out with and that we are for the majority of our lives. Certainly there's fluidity in all sexuality. People say they change, people do change. Transsexuals do have operative procedures, but basically we feel that sexuality is a fixed phenomenon. With that in mind, I spoke to this group at 400 or 500 people, and I presented this information. I said to myself, well, I'm not bringing colds to Newcastle. These people all know about this. And after my talk, I got to tell you that 40 people, if not one, came up to me and said, gee, we never knew that. We never realized that. We always knew we were gay. We knew we were same-sex people. But really, we didn't know that there was this scientific proof. After I gave that little speech and sort of had an epiphany, if you will, about where we are and what we think, I reflected a lot on the research that I had done and felt that because I had done this type of research in the past, and that is really as objective as possible, that perhaps I might be able to add something to the neurobiology of sexual orientation. We actually have a set of twins, one male straight, one male gay, who have been actually scanned, and we have those scans in our supercomputer here in the office. One of the things that's very fascinating about this particular type of project is not only is the project new, but the technology is brand new also. So my feeling about the situation is that if we bring the minds to the table, the minds of America, the minds of the world to the table with objective evidence of who and what we are, then it will perhaps and hopefully have the same impact as being white, being black, being tall, being short, having blue eyes, having green eyes. From a medical and physician standpoint, most people think, that if there is a disorder, it can be adjusted or cured. If you will, the one difficulty with sexuality is that we don't bring a cure to the table. We bring an understanding of human nature, of human variation. And I think that most of the psychological, psychiatric, psychoanalytic, behavioral groups throughout the world have come to a clear understanding that there is no benefit to attempting to change someone's sexuality, that it is clearly detrimental to psychological understanding and to psychological comfort for the individual, and that over the course or the history of mankind, I don't think one can calculate, if you wanted to put it in dollars and cents, the trillions, multi-trillions, wasted on attempts to rid, to cure, to change sexual behavior. It doesn't work. You can kill as many gay folks as you want, but we will always be there. In talking about brain anatomy, it has been clear from certain brain studies that there are differences in brain structure in gay or same-sex persons as opposed to straight, even transsexual, or maybe even bisexual individuals. And what Ivanka Savic-Bergeland has done, to me, is clearly scientific drama. Her results of homosexual men with sex atypical amygdalar connections. That's one of those parts of the limbic system. And similar to homosexual women having those same sort of connections, similar to heterosexual men. And once again, the amygdalar sizes, and I don't want to concentrate on the various areas. I just want to bring home the fact. That there are these clear-cut differences in the brains of straight versus gay brains, especially in the amygdala. My take on her work is that if anyone deserved the Nobel Prize, she does. She has brought information and science to the world that answers a question, as I've indicated before, worth multi-trillions of dollars in terms of human suffering, war, religion, politics. I could go on and on and on. Expand this research, republish it, and make the world understand the importance and the significance of putting sexuality into its proper perspective in human behavior, human understanding, human love, and human foresight. Has the final answer come in, or is there a final answer? I don't think that is a concern, or should be a concern, of any individual looking at this topic. What we want to know is not so much that the transsexual may be this, the bisexual may be that, the asexual may be this, but that they are the way they are because of their brain structure, the way they are, the genetic links, and all of the hormonal influences, and not because of what society, religion, politics, or any other cultural influence may wish us to be.